What's up everyone, my name is Kelsey, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a recommendations video. So this is going to be the beginning of a series of videos where I recommend female or otherwise sapphic books. Every once in a while on book Twitter and booktube, someone will say something like, there just aren't any good female books out there as a justification for not reading female books. And you know, that's just not true. They can be hard to find, but once you have a good source for finding sapphic books, like, it gets a lot easier. So that's kind of what I want to do with this series, is put together recommendations for people that are interested in reading more sapphic books. I also think sapphic books don't get like the hype they deserve because, I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's probably a mix of homophobia and lesbophobia and misogyny and internalized misogyny, etc., etc. So we're just gonna, you know, break that down a little bit at a time. Okay, I don't want these videos to be super long, so I'm starting with 7 books. I'm only going to recommend books I gave 3 or more stars because those are the only ones I feel like I could actually recommend. So anything I rated under 3 stars, I don't consider it an actual recommendation. But if you're interested in seeing all of the books I've read, I have a Goodreads of queer rep, and I plan on making one solely dedicated for female books so that I can make this recommendation process a little easier for myself. So I'll leave my Goodreads link down below. And these are going to be like all variety of genres. So I have a few different genres here today and age ranges. So yeah, I'm just gonna like get into it. So first I have Tarnished Are the Stars by Rosiee Thor. This is a young adult sci-fi set in space. And this sort of takes place after humanity has settled down on a new planet and they're like colonizing it, they're terraforming it. And this book also has some like steampunk elements. So there are characters that have been getting sick and they're mostly outcasts of like the new society, and they repair themselves with technology or mechanics really. But these mechanics are illegal, so they have to live away from the primary society. So we follow 3 characters in this book, and Anna is a technician, so she does repairs on mechanical hearts and other parts. And then we also follow Nathaniel, who is the son of the commissioner, so he's like what I would equate to the mayor of this new society. And Nathaniel has a secret in that he has a clockwork heart, even though it's illegal. And he seeks out Anna in order to capture her as a way to get in his father's good graces. And then we also follow Eliza, who has lived on the, what I would call, space station above this planet all her life and is training to become the Queen's Eyes, which is like the Queen's spy. So she is sent to this planet in order to discover whatever secrets the commissioner is hiding. So these 3 end up all running into each other in different ways, and their stories kind of intertwine in different ways. But in this book we have a romantic relationship between Anna and Eliza that's just really sweet. There's some good fan art. I mean, there's not a ton. This book, I feel like, once again, just didn't get the hype it deserved, but there is some good fan art out there if you look for it, of Anna and Eliza. Also, bonus, Nathaniel in this book is asexual and aromantic, and he's just so sweet and sad. Okay, next up I have, we're taking a turn for genres here. The Luminous Dead by Caitlyn Starling. This is an adult sci-fi horror. So this is set in space on other planets, and this particular planet is rife with caves and other underground passages. So our main character, Gear Price, is a cave diver with limited experience, and she lies her way into an expedition that quickly turns out to be way too advanced for her. Our other main character is M, and she's in charge of this expedition, and she is misleading Gear about the actual reasoning behind this expedition. So this is a really interesting female romance in that it follows Gear and M, and they're far away from each other. They don't meet in person before this expedition starts. So all of their communication is via these like cameras inside of Gear's caving helmet and just voice chatting back and forth. And while I enjoyed the romance aspect of this, it is dark. It's not like a fluffy romance story. There's some they're both lying to each other. They both have sketchy intentions, but I enjoyed that kind of dynamic. But like really the star of this book is the horror aspect. Gear is stuck underground. It's very claustrophobic and creepy. There are things going on that are unexplainable, and it's sort of this situation where we're not sure if Gear is imagining things because of her psychological distress or if these scary, creepy things are really actually happening. It was just really good. When I finished this book, I originally gave it 3 stars, but I thought about it so much and it weighed on me so much that I ended up upgrading it to 4 stars because, like, I actually really recommend this one if you can handle horror. It's not for everyone. Okay, next I have Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. This is a young adult contemporary. I read this one a while ago, so I'm a little sketchy on the details, but I listened to the audiobook and really enjoyed the format. This follows 3 teens. I think they're all from Australia, and they decide to go to San Diego Comic-Con together. And there are sort of 2 relationships happening in this book at once. There's 3 main characters, 2 girls and a guy, and one couple is the girl and guy, and I really like them. I wish I remembered their names, but I really liked the main character girl who is like a diehard Comic-Con. She is big in this fandom, and I personally relate to that. She also has really bad anxiety and also relate to that. But I thought that was really well done, and I thought like the way their relationship went from friends to something more was really good. But mostly I enjoyed the female-female relationship. So I believe one of the characters is an actress, or the love interest is an actress, and our main character is a YouTuber, and they sort of meet by accident and really hit it off, and their relationship develops really quickly over the course of just a few days. But it really had that like sweet young love feeling where, I mean, when you're that young and you can spend 12 hours a day together, the feelings hit you hard fast, and I thought that was really well done. Okay, next I have Temper by Layne Fargo. This is a thriller, and this is what I'm calling Sapphic because though there are relationships in this book, it's not a romantic subplot at all. This is not a happily ever after 2 characters fall in love scenario. This is just all, like, everyone in this book is bisexual. So this follows our main character, Kira, who is offered the opportunity of a lifetime to work with this really volatile director whose name is Malcolm, and our other characters, Joanna, who is Malcolm's business partner / on-again, off-again love interest. Malcolm and Joanna are bisexual, and Kira's best friend is bisexual, and there are a whole bunch of mixed up relationships going on. This is by no means a healthy female-female relationship book, but it is very thrilling, and I've heard really good things about the audiobook version of this. And just at the end of this book, I literally could not believe what I had just read. Like, I went back a couple pages and I was like, did this really just happen? Is this how it ends? Like, definitely did not see it coming. I don't want to say too much about it because it's a thriller and, you know, spoilers. I think it's really hard to find female-female or sapphic or even male-male thrillers. It's just the genre is so saturated, and because the plots tend to be like, you know, it's plot driven, not character driven, so there's less, I don't know, less call for more diverse cast of characters. Let me know if that makes any sense. Okay, next is one of my favorite books, Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World by Ashley Herring Blake. I've talked about this one quite a few times, so feel free to skip ahead if you already know all about it. This is a middle grade book that follows Ivy Aberdeen after her childhood home is destroyed in a tornado. And the only thing that Ivy is able to save from her house before it's destroyed is her journal, where she has been writing down her thoughts and drawing pictures of herself with another girl. During the relocation process and all of the shelters that they're moved through, she loses the journal, and someone starts taking the drawings and putting them in her locker, and she has to try and figure out if this person is a friend or if they're trying to threaten her or expose her. And through all of this, she's also dealing with a lot of family problems because, I mean, clearly her parents are stressed. They just lost their family home. She has an infant brother and an older sister. Her older sister is going through troubles with her friend, and Ivy is curious about the reasons for that because she feels like it relates to her situation and she's afraid of what her sister will think of her. And it is just such a good, sweet, middle grade, contemporary, so good. It's just such a cute one, and I love Ivy. And it's one of those where, like, Ivy feels so real that I just, like, she feels like a real person, and I want to give her a hug and let her be happy. Oh, my last two are young adult. So, first up is Crier's War by Nina Varela, and I apologize for my scattered thoughts on this one because I finished it this month and I haven't done my wrap-up for it yet, so I don't have all my thoughts all put together, but I wanted to mention it in this one because I liked it so much. So this is a young adult fantasy, kind of a high fantasy, which follows Crier and Ayla. And Crier is an autome, which is sort of an engineered humanoid figure. She was created, not born. And once these autome were invented as sort of, pets for humans or companions for humans, they quickly grew dissatisfied with that, and the autome took over and subjugated humans. So Crier is our main character, as well as Ayla, who is a human. Ayla wants revenge on Crier and Crier's family for murdering her family. Crier is questioning her father's ruling, and she's also been kind of given an arranged marriage with a guy who has been sort of starting uprisings within the autome community to get rid of humans completely. So there is a lot of political maneuvering happening in this book, but I gotta be honest, my favorite part is Crier and Ayla. I just love the pining in this book is so good. The way Nina Varela describes Crier and Ayla's feelings for each other, and even just like when they're prolonged eye contact, the longing, it's just so good. But that's not the only draw. Like I said, there's a lot of political maneuvering. There's a bit of a mystery, which I thought was well done. You know, it does follow a sort of like a pretty formulaic YA fantasy plotline, but it was still interesting enough that it kept me moving through the story. So, and really, I mean, the romance was my favorite. Okay, last but not least, Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. This is one of my favorites. It's set on an island, kind of a well-off island of like old money families, you know. But on this island for hundreds of years, every so often a young girl goes missing. Nobody knows what happens to them. Nobody knows why they disappear. But it seems like every time it happens, the people are upset for a little bit, and then the outrage and fear just sort of dies off, and then the process repeats itself. So in this book, there are three main characters. There's Marion, who's like the new girl. Her family just moved to this island. She is awkward and depressed after her father passed away. Then we also follow Zoe, who has been on the island for a while, but just recently her friend went missing, and she suspects that she is another one of the girls that will go missing and never be found or heard from again. And Zoe is determined to find out what happened to her. And then we also follow Val, who is a part of one of the oldest families on the island, and she has secrets. Girls got secrets. So in this book, there is a female-female relationship. I can't recall. I believe Marion describes attraction to multiple genders, so she's bi or pan or something. But I believe Val, this is one of those books where none of the characters use labels, but you can kind of glean their attraction based on how they describe other people. And you get the impression that Val is a lesbian, Marion's bi, and in this book, Zoe is asexual, and that's sort of a running theme throughout the book, is how she's handling a romantic relationship with this guy she had been dating. But I really love the relationship between Marion and Val, but it also makes me sad, and why is a spoiler, so I can't tell you. But this book has so many themes of, I mean, there are very clear themes of feminism, but also, and I suppose this is an aspect of feminism, but overcoming this sort of the way society pits women against each other from like the time we're very young, and female friendship, and, you know, destroy the patriarchy, etc. It's one of my favorite young adult books, so it felt appropriate to recommend it here. Okay, so those are the, I think that was 7. Was that 7? 7 books I have for my first female Sapphic Rex video. Let me know if you've read any of these, or if you have any recommendations based on these. I'd love to read them and include them in the next time I do this. Right now I'm participating in Female February, so hopefully I'll have more to recommend soon. It really is like a huge bummer whenever you see someone say that there just isn't any good female, because there is. And I don't know, I've thought about doing like a whole discussion video on why female just doesn't get the hype that male, or, you know, straight books do, straight people, straight characters, straight romances, etc. So let me know if you'd be interested in that, because I know I'm the kind of person that, like, I'm not gonna half-ass a discussion video. Like, I'm gonna do serious research if I decide to discuss this. All right, I think that's all I have for today. I post book-related videos every Wednesday, so if you want to see more, subscribe. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to keep talking, you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Kelsey Reads, or Goodreads at Kelsey Lynn Reads. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.